Right, what's going on, guys? It's xDriger, and I have no idea what I'm doing with this, but I set up a nice little border, and I'm just going to go through the power rankings, maybe make this into some kind of podcast, because I am not entertaining enough to keep this going for like 30 minutes and whatever. But the plan is, if this goes well, we'll get like guests on and shit, and basically steal Grey Arts at heart. We'll make it a little bit longer. And for more exciting things, news, got a message, we'll ignore that. Gonna get pissed at the same time, so let's fucking go, boys. Today, we're on Corona. That doesn't show. Huge fucking head at the minute. That's what happens when you try and do it too fast. So yeah, that's my cat Charlie. I'm just going to start by going over the power rankings that I've made, and I have changed it a little bit based off what Kwee put, because to be honest, he'd made some changes there, which I'd agreed with, but kind of didn't. For example, if I look in the jungle, I put Serpenthius above Bytor, whereas he put Bytor above Serpenthius. And really, I wanted to put Bytor top because his performances in both the games that he played on Monday was phenomenal. First off, in the game against Checkmate Yellow, in which Checkmate White executed that kind of lane swap between mid and bot, putting the Lucian and Morgana in the mid lane and Malzahar on bot. He played phenomenally in that game, one of the standout performers in that game. It's unfortunate that he didn't get man of the match or MVP because Crunk, who is also top, really outshined in those games. But granted, I mean, Checkmate White played, in my opinion, two of the worst teams that we've seen so far. So it was hard for me to put Bytor over Serpenthius when Chaz It Up went 2-0 in the first week. So it's a difficult one. The fact that Chaz It Up, you can see there under teams, I put that's an order of where I'd rank them. So Chaz It Up being the best, EGT being second, PwC being third, so on and so forth. You've got eyes, you can read through that shit. But yeah, it's one of those ones where in the first game, EGT really should have won that. And looking back at it, Povaxy got a fantastic engage on Annie. Big Sexy was fucking what a name. Was popping off on Jinx. I think it hit like 40 minutes, and at that point, EGT just couldn't close out. If I remember the comp, it was Shen, Kha'Zix, Galio, Varus, and Taric. And I think all 5 of the players played fantastically in the early game. And obviously, Just Alive and Ice Arrow weren't playing in those games. They had the subs Babylon and Ultra Blast, who's going to be the main for each team, I'm not sure. They played really well, and to be honest, they could have closed out. They got the Barons and everything. At least got the first Baron. No banner of commands were built, and we've talked about that since on the Discord. If Taric had the banner of command, maybe that they could have helped some siege. But at the same time, Galio and Shen both had their ults up when Annie engaged. They weren't used. Then there was countless times after when EGT was still in the driver's seat, 15,000 gold ahead. Ultra Blast runs in on Kha'Zix, and again, the ults are going onto the Varus and not the Kha'Zix, and maybe you split them 50-50, maybe you put everything onto the Kha'Zix, but at the end of the day, he just died 1v3, and then, because there was no huge front line, it was more just peel, Jinx was able to just go in and just go ham with that get excited, because as soon as Kha'Zix is gone, the passive gets triggered, and that's that. So it was a really actually exciting game, and hopefully we can see EGT look to press on from there and really dominate the division, because despite the fact I put Chaz It Up first, and that's purely based on the performance against PwC, who obviously went at 3-0 in the first week, to then just come and dominate them, whether that was a little bit of tilt coming into play, whether, the rumours of smurfing, pretty much the confirmation of smurfing for at least one of the players, kind of played on the mind a little bit. Say, like, rumours about Platinum, Diamond people on the team. We don't know. This is pure speculation. This isn't a CompeteLeague registered podcast, so I can pretty much say whatever the fuck I want. But yeah, maybe that played on the mind, and they really underperformed. Again, they had Shen in the top lane, which in the first game, Tonadolina really struggled against on the Camille. Guff had a fantastic performance, just dominating that lane, in really a lane that he should have lost. And then in the second game, Tonalina chose the Fiora instead of the Camille, again against the Shen. And just went ham, just completely dominated that lane. So yeah, I'm going to talk over what I've got down for the rankings of the individual players now. So Guff, he had a really poor performance last week, I remember, against I want to say it was Yearling who played Nah without boots and went rapid fire cannon or something stupid like that. He really underperformed in that game, but in the first game he played Sion against myself when I was subbed in on the Shen, and he completely dominated me. And to be fair, when you compare my then 2 games after that, I just blitzed the lane against both Revival and Checkmate Yellow, I think I was against. So yeah, I mean they have swapped out Thrun, who's now over to 7 Deadly Sin. So Iron Endeavour is new in there, who I've not seen play yet. But the reason he's played so high is the fact that everybody below him is really underperformed. Like, from the average of the mechanical performance of players in this league, the likes of Yearling, Cookie, Dexter, Thrun, and Caretaker, they've really underperformed. And that's not me saying that they're bad. That's me saying that they're good. They've just not performed to the best of their abilities. I mean, Dexter came out with that on-hit Morgana pick, which, to be fair, they won both games. It's the fact that he's that low just shows how good the top lane pool can be. We just need to see a lot more from him. I think he was on a losing matchup in the first game. Second game was on the Morgana. So I think there's a lot more to come from Checkmate White, and I'm really looking forward to see how they do when they come against some of the top teams. And it's the reason I put them fourth, because they went 2-0. Every other team below them has lost a game. But when you see them against Revival will be a huge match, really, to see how good Checkmate White are, because we know that Revival at the minute are a playoff team. They are kind of middle of the pack. I don't think there's a chance that they'll beat the likes of PwC, EGT, and CHS when these teams get into the swing of things. But again, I think they'd absolutely dominate the likes of Checkmate Yellow and Starwish unless they can change things around. And I don't want to be disrespectful to any team in the league right now, but Starwish, I think they've lost every single game they've played. Checkmate Yellow have only won 1, and that was against Starwish. So, them 2 teams have really got to step it up. And we have seen some brilliant performances coming from the junglers of both those teams, which is why I put Omelette and Snowco so high, because when you do watch the games of both Starwish and Checkmate Yellow, they're the ones that do outperform everybody else, in my opinion, when watching the game. I think that's a lot harder to say for Checkmate Yellow, because I said Yearling, he's had some really good performances. Been put on tanks quite a lot, so it's quite difficult to say. I think Pavlov's cat as well. I mean, I'd want to put him higher in that AD carry spot, but there's just so many good AD carries. So I'm going to go into that because that's the one where I disagree with Kwee the most. Now, so I'm literally just rambling, but fuck it. This is just, I'm going to keep going until everything's done, then talk a little bit extra, and then end the video because fuck it. You guys asked for it. I'm just delivering. So AD carries. I put Just Alive top. He is currently only... Yeah, we played in the first week under Demo, now EGT, but somehow they just get away with losing twice and making a new team despite having exactly the same roster, give or take 3 players out of a total of 7, which, whatever, it's not like they won all the games anyway, so I don't really care. But yeah, Just Alive, I know from playing with him that he's a fantastic carry. He's someone that, if he gets ahead, and if he's not forced onto something like a Sivir, why is that ear so red, man? That's just the sunlight coming through, but he just looks fucking weird, doesn't it? Hang on. No, that works, kinda. Anyway, if he does get a lead, he'll 1v9. He'll fucking 1v18. Like, this guy is so good. If you just watch the Val's Bronze and Silver tournament, it should still be on his Twitch, I think. You can go back and watch those games, and he really fucking can go ham when he's ahead. Unfortunately, a little bit inconsistent. The only game that I've seen him play is the one against myself when I was playing on PwC in that first week. He was forced onto the Sivir. Really just got fucking smashed because Sivir is not strong at all in the early game. And I'm not sure why he chose that pick when he's got a decent champion pool. He can pull out the stuff like the Tristana, like the Varus. The other ADCs are available. But, there we go. No. I'm just going to completely shut him. That's better, isn't it? That's better. Anyway. So he's first. MCK is second under Checkmate White. Went 2-0 in the second week. The first week that they were playing. He played Lucian in the first one. Can't remember who was playing in the second one. I think it might have been the Tristana. Because who was he playing that game? Yeah, I think it was Tristana, because it was against the Corki. And yeah, we had like fucking Infinity Edge when the Corki had a Sheen or something like that. So he played really well in both those games. Impressive KDAs. And it's not just the fact that he like got fed and was able to just carry, but it's the fact of how he got fed. And a lot of that does come down to Crunk, but at the end of the day, a good support is only as good as the AD carry, and a good AD carry is only as good as the support, which is why when you look at most of the combinations that we see, like, if you just take Just a Life out of the equation, we can see MCK and Crunk being the next ones, Halcyons and Valkyrie being so close together. For those that don't know, Jaxis comes under Valk. It's because he got banned and is using the sub account. Big Sexy and Spiteful so close together. Paxil and Poe so close together. Babylon and Rani so close together. Falcon Scott and Bab so close together. Noxim and Diesel Uterus so close together. That's just kind of how bot lane works. So MCK really did fantastic, especially in that first game, in that kind of 2v1 situation. Because at the end of the day, if they didn't push Azir so hard and deny him so much experience and CS, Azir could have got level 2, pushed out the wave. And if Azir hit level 2 before MCK and Crunk hit level 2, he would just have complete control over the lane then. So, well, I say he'd be able to clear the waves well enough that it wouldn't be as dominant. But Crunk, man, he'll land a fucking Morg binding any day of the week. Next, we've got Halcyons. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch the other game. I only watched the game against Chaz It Up, in which Halcyons, he didn't do too bad. Like, I need to be careful what I say, because I don't want to fucking upset the guy anymore. But he was playing Xayah with a Rakan, and he lost the lane against a Tristana, which he didn't lose the lane, he just didn't fucking win the lane, and then they lost the game. So he really underperformed in that one. But at the same time, in the first week, the guy went fucking ham, which is the only reason why Big Sexy's not above him. Like, just basing it off that game, Big Sexy played much better. No disrespect to either player, but in that first week, Glenn just went fucking ham. So like he carried so many of those games, and I think he got MVP twice. Obviously, a lot of that is Panda's backstage, but I think in the game against Demo, he got man of the match. So I want to put him higher, and really, you could put MCK below Big Sexy. You could put Halcyon's top. Really that top 4 is interchangeable, but basing it off what we've seen, I think MCK was played out of his mind in both games, and there's no reason that he can't be lower. Just a Life is the best 1v9 in the league right now. Now Firas is gone. So you've got to put him there. So that's why Big Sexy's been dropped so low, despite the fact he had a really solid game. Babylon, he comes in next. He played, the only game that we've seen of him is playing Varus. He missed countless Varus ultimates. But at the same time, that's not the entire kit of Varus. He's still got off a lot of damage. He played well. And I think, considering how strong we know EGT could be, he's definitely just filling that middle of the table spot. I think he's definitely got space to improve. I think compared to the others, though, he is just a better mechanical player. Again, despite the fact he missed all those fucking Varus ultimates, which I find hilarious, because when Demo played Seven Deadly Sins back when Harshy was the AD carry, he missed a bunch of Varus ultimates. So I just thought that was funny. Just a bit of karma, so to speak. Yeah. And then for the final 3, obviously I'm just not going to touch on French squad. We have not seen them play since the start of Val's tournament. And really, that's not enough to go off. They've had a couple of roster swaps. Obviously, team captain and coach Lyrsis, however that one's pronounced, is now coming in. Was the jungler, now moved to support. So we'll see how they do. They are hopefully going to be playing next week. If they don't, they just need to sort the shit out. Like, at the end of the day, this is just CompeteLeague. We play this for fun, but at the same time, it's not. If one person is ruining it for that team, and then that team is ruining it for the other 8 teams, that's not fair, is it, man? Do you know what I mean? Get a sub. Just fucking get a sub. If you can't consistently play, get a fucking sub. Namixium, I think he's been one of the worst players in the league. Somebody's got to take that role. So yeah, I'm flaming him a little bit, but like, the guy's played Corki twice at AD carry with a full AP comp. Like, their read on the meta is so skewed, and someone needs to go in and change it, because they're going to be mechanically decent for them to be at the same elo as everybody else, give or take the Smurfs on a couple of the teams. But it's, you don't do that. You don't lane swap it when the top tower's got so much increased durability, and you don't play Corki on full AP comps. You'd never want to play Corki at AD carry anyway, because you just lose so much of his roaming potential. He can 1v1 in a lane. Why? Anyway. And then Pavlov's cat. He's someone that I want to put higher. Pax, though he is really, he is the carry for Revival. He is the one that is going to kind of... He's the Reckless of 2016, probably even 17 too, for the team. Unfortunately, he's not at Reckless's caliber compared to the other AD carries in the league. Like, if you removed the people that were godly in the AD carry pool, he'd be in the top 3. And Pavlov's cat would be close behind. So that's explaining the AD carry pool. Again, you can switch around the top 4 a little bit. But yeah, so let's finish up top lane, I think. The easiest thing to do is split up Guff, Tanadalina and Cookie. Just based on this week. Guff outperformed Tanadalina fucking incredibly. Got solo kill, really impressive, in a matchup against Camille, who is an S+, probably the only S+ champion in the game right now, in my opinion. So, really well played from him. I've maybe I'm a little bit egotistical putting myself second, but I don't think there's a single top laner in the league that is better than me, but Guff outperformed me week 1, so fuck it. I'm not going to be playing too much anyway, but fuck it. Let's just hype myself up. And then we've got Iron Endeavour, who, as I said, we've not seen. So the fact that I've put him 4th just shows how much everyone else has underperformed. Yulin performed really well. I fucking talked about these, haven't I? I talked about these. And then Thorn and Caretaker. Thorn really poor performances on Revival. Was a support, moved up to top lane. Now we're switching teams to 7 Deadly Sins. Just to touch on 7 Deadly Sins, like, this team is now the Craft Show, or T-Doggy Show, being his IGN. Bjergsen's not a bad player. The rest of the team, though, we don't know who they're going to bring in at AD carry, I'm not sure. But Firas was the guy that you could rely on T-Doggy not losing lane, and you can rely on Firas winning lane. And because of that combination in itself, with Bjergsen just being solid, it just made them win. It made them a very strong team. But now, T-Dog is going to have to take a lot more responsibility onto his shoulders. He's going to have to win lane now, 100% of the time, because there's a reason he's top. There is a reason he's top. And we'll touch on that in a minute. But in terms of 7 Deadly Sins, they went from a top tier team to now going to be fighting for playoffs. And it's as simple as that. But I'm pretty sure week 3 is going to tell a lot and really kind of mess everything up, particularly in the team standings. But we'll see how things go. And then Caretaker, Star Wars have been really fucking shit. I have a feeling I might flame a little bit too much, but they have. They've gone, what, 0-6, 0-5 or something? 0-4, I don't know. 0 is the key factor. He was forced into a lane swap situation and didn't know how to play against it. He locks in things like Rumble, trying to 1v2 against an AD carry. And, like, fair enough if they don't know that they're going to go into a lane swap situation. But if you know, and you're picking those champions and performing that poorly in those situations, then yeah, man, that's not acceptable either. So let's touch on the jungle pool. We spoke a little bit about Baitor and Serpenthius. Serpenthius played decent in both games. Not outstanding in the first one against the EGT, but I think that was just how well Ultra Blast played in the early game and just the whole team. So you really can look at the likes of Ultra Blast, Pegasus and Rani being higher. And I think next week will prove it, as long as they focus. Like, mentality is going to be the biggest thing for this team. So if they want to get the shit together, they can easily win the league. I think they've got the players that can do that. But mentality is the thing, and if you're going to lock in Shen, Kha'Zix, Galio, Varus, and Taric, with your only engage being either Varus ultimate or Kha'Zix going into the backline with a Galio ultimate, and then not even knowing how to execute your own composition, then you're not going to win it. So yeah, Baitor, solid performances both games. Easily the most consistent jungler, but again, he's only played 2 games, so it's hard to say that. Serpenthius, decent performances, won both games. Pretty consistent, despite that first game not having the best early game, but in the later game, we knew how well Chaz Up did play. Delight. Really solid player. Really, really solid player. However, I want to question intelligence, macro knowledge going into that jungle. Which is harsh because I played a couple of games with him and he's been good. He's always got a focus going into the game of what he wants to do. It's just whether that thing that he wants to do is the right thing. In that third game, it was pretty, you know, I think he got the first kill, maybe. I think Panda's got that first kill. Just a little bit absent. And really, from a jungler, you need to be the shot caller in the first game. They had a Shen, they had Zyra Khan, and they didn't 5-man dive bot once. Didn't 4-man dive bot once. They didn't even use Shen ultimate once, and I don't even know if he ganked bot. He might have done it a couple of times. But Zyra Khan, man, focus around it. Now to play the champions. If it's really broken, it's a really broken combination. It has been ever since like they were released, pretty much. Rakan's been hit a little bit, but is still viable. Even with like a Kalista lane or something, he can still be viable just because he's got such a massive AoE CC and ability to keep himself safe. But yeah, I think jungler's pool has, comparing the bottom to the top, and the fact that Ice Arrow is so low when he's such a good player, shows how much this can change. Ultra Blast 4th, good early game, atrocious late game. Again, whether that's just communication with the team. Is he calling for the Galio ultimate, or is he just expecting it? Because if he's just expecting it, then fucking that's on him. If he's calling for it and his team aren't performing, then you know that's not something that I know as a caster, what the communication is. All I know is they did it wrong. So, yeah. Omelette Snowco, really great junglers, like fantastic performances mechanically. Pathing might not be the best, according to Beastslayer, but that's not something that I've had enough time watching. I'm not going to individually scout every single player because I've not got the fucking time. Saying that I'm doing this video, which is, okay, I don't know how long it's been so far. I've literally got no way of telling, but banter. You guys wanted it. You guys don't have to watch it. Fuck it. I'm just getting to ramble and drink, which is fun. I'm going to have a custard cream. I'm going to have a custard cream. This is fucking dog shit. Anyway. Bjergsen, as I said, solid player. 7 out of since only had one streamed game. Played Sejuani, they won the game really comfortably. Has the potential of being a top 3 jungler, but he just needs more game time. Don't like the lad personally, but he is solid, so we'll have to see. I think he's more of a carry-orientated jungler, and I think against the better teams, if he gets forced onto tanks, I think he'll really struggle. But since the last time I played against him, since the last time I checked his op.gg, he's going to have had time to practice, so you know it's not hard to pick up champions like Zac or Sejuani or Skarner. So if he does, we'll have to see. Ice Arrow, one of my favourite junglers to play with when I was on my time at Demo, especially in the final. If you watch that, he was just playing out of his mind. Zac, he was who he was playing, and positioning was like 9/10 of what he had that in that game. And watching it back, just noticing how much he did. There's so much potential. He could be the best jungler by far, but mentality is fucking. I don't know what it was. Whether he needs a shot caller, which is what Demo might have struggled with in that first week, I'm not sure. But he played fucking dreadfully in week 1. So yeah, in week 1. For Demo before, obviously, they've changed the name to EGT. I'm not going to say that name out loud. So we'll have to see. I've got to put him low down. I couldn't put him dead last because of how good he can be. And ultimately, I've got to talk about Beastslayer now, who I know is going to fucking be annoyed at the fact that I put him last still, despite the fact I've given it another little change. I've not seen enough from you, bud. I've not seen enough. Apparently, you've had an MVP performance. I've not seen it. I've played against you once. I've never seen you play. Except for the one game you're on stream, but I can't remember what happened in that game. I think you won, didn't you? I might have to go back and watch it and see. But, like, buddy, not seen you enough. And because everyone else, I can't actively talk about the fact Bjergsen's so low after he's 1-0, you know. It's one of those, prove me wrong. Maybe you need a standout performance, as I said. Fucking, if you win your first game, your next game on stream, you want 4th, I'll put you 4th. Sorted. Mid lane. I wonder how long this has gone on for now. There's no way I can tell. I'm using OBS, which is how I've done the fucking nice little border. I don't know if you think it's nice, but yeah. Oh yeah, CompeteLeague is, I think, bronze and silver, sponsored by Up Your Game. I'm not. I just thought I'd put it there to fill a space and my logo. I've already talked about this. Fuck it. Mid lane. Originally, I put Motor Joe above T-Doggy and Pobaxy above them both. And a lot of that was just because Chazit up won both games, and you know, because I didn't want to put Big Sexy or Spiteful top or Tano Delena, I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to have to put Pobaxy and Serpenity top because fucking they were first. And then obviously Kwee did his, and I realised actually that's not a good enough reason. So I've defended it with him doing solid in both his games. He kind of brought his team back with a very good Annie engage, but that could have gone in such a different direction. If he engaged and Galio ultimate and Galio and Shen both used their ult, he's just lost the game. So it's victory. What is it? History is written by the victor or something stupid like that. So yeah, I look really red. Wonder why. Probably the monitor light. Anyway, so looking back at it, yeah, he didn't perform the best, but he performed better than Pegasus, who won lane. Like, Pegasus played better than Pobaxy in the early game, but it's how am I going to explain this? If you can know the advanced shit, but if you don't know the basics, then you're not a good player. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm just saying he's not the best, which is why he's 4th. He's kind of a similar situation to Ultrablast. Like, performed really well in the early game, fucked up in the late game. And like the fact that I'm giving this preferential treatment to Guff rather than Pegasus, I think might be a little bit unfair. But I think the top lane pool in general in CompeteLeague Bronze and Silver isn't as strong as the other lanes, which is why I might be giving him a little bit more of a hard time. But at the end of the day, this doesn't mean fucking squat. So yeah. So I put Pobaxy above him. I think the reason T-Dog is first is because I just know how good he can be. I think Motor Joe can 100% challenge for that position. My favourite mid laner to play, to watch in terms of knowledge on the game, deep champion pool. Like, this guy can pull out some crazy stuff that, you know, I didn't even think was like viable, like even a thing, never mind viable. So you're never going to ban him out. He is a... I don't know if he's ever going to win lane though. I don't know if he's ever going to get a solo kill. And I think T-Dog can, and I think that's kind of what you're looking at. Like, if you compared... I'm trying to think of an EU LCS synonym, similarity, similar partnership, but I can't because every EU LCS kind of mid laner, maybe like a Betsy, Betsy's pretty solid, but he's never going to get a solo kill, I don't think. Whereas, you know, you've got the likes of Caps and Perps who are just going to fucking tear shit apart, and that's what T-Dog is, and I think Motojo needs to add that to his game. But likewise, he knows that he doesn't need to take 50-50 risks because he's just going to win the late game because PwC are the best macro team in the league. Judging it off to week one, I think. Week 2 was diabolical. I can only presume like mentality played the biggest factor in that, and not like just the general macro knowledge, because after playing with them, you know, they know what they're doing. And I really didn't need to give too much of an input. So going on to the other 5, they're very questionable, especially the bottom 3. I've not seen enough from Chotahoy, Politico, TBO to really accurately judge them. So I've just purely done it on the base of where these teams are in the standings. So I'm not going to gratify or flame them because it's just simply Star Wars have been playing the worst. Chenmei Yellow have been playing slightly bit better but worse, and Revival have been playing alright. So that's the order that I put him in. Ungard Fool, he was in a 1v2 matchup on Malzahar. I think he was against Caitlyn. I can't remember exactly, that might have been correct. But if he was, he played well. He knew how to do that. They've clearly practiced it. And I think in the second game, he was playing... Was it Ziggs? No. It was Echo v Morgana in the top lane. Tristana v Koki in the bottom lane. I can't remember who's in the mid. It might have been Ziggs, but I don't know. Yeah, Miles are having a first game anyway. He played well. He was unfortunate. He could have got quite a couple of kills. He could have even got a 1v2 kill, but I think he used his ult on when they were trying to kill him on the tower, but it was like pixels away from tower range. And if it was, he probably would have gotten the kill. But yeah, there's a lot more to be seen in the mid lane. But I think in general you can draw lines, particularly with the top two. But you could see Pegasus and Polebaxy come in. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. And then finally support. What a boring role. Crunk, fantastic player. He really, really shined in his games. Really enjoyed watching him play. Like, I thought the guy was scripting, low-key, just when I was watching the stream. Like, how the fuck have you just landed die? Isn't that a fucking wall? What's going on? They've won the game. Anyway, Crunk, what a player. Big up to that guy. Compared to the other supports in the league, like, mechanically, we are very, very poor supports in the league, mechanically. Kind of want to take that back, but I think in general, compared to the other lanes, I think there's a reason they play support. More of a game knowledge kind of thing, I think, with the majority of them than mechanics. And Crunk is kind of the opposite with that. He is a very good mechanical player. Spiteful. I think he's just second because of Chaz it up, if I'm being honest. But at the same time, I think Valk does lack some mechanical play. I think he is not there yet, but he's very good in terms of game knowledge. But I can't judge it off that. He's still a decent player, and he did really well in Rakan in that first game, especially with some of like his disengage ultimates, being able to fly back, like flying into the Shen W to avoid dying on the tower. Like, he did have some really, really good moments, and really, looking back at it, I could vouch for putting Valk above Spiteful, but there's a reason that Chaz it up won both their games so comfortably, and there's a reason that Spiteful didn't lose his Rakan lane, so I'm still going to defend the fact that I put him second. I think I could switch Poe and Rani around, realistically, but I think they're very kind of similar, depending on how the games have gone. But I think it's another thing with support. It's so hard to watch what they do, and as I said with those last three in the mid lane, there's only so much you can see from support. I've played with Rani, I know she's a good player. Poe, on the other hand, the only time I've played against Revival I've won, kind of thing. So they do look worse than they are because they're dealing with less gold. It's hard to say. But Jordan 2 can't land Varus ultimates. So he's, dog shit. Respect Tarshu. Peace out. I'm crying, man. And Diesel Uterus. Someone's got to be telling him to go Corki. I don't know what's going on in Starwish. Just don't play Corki ADC anymore. Legit. I tell you what, if anyone from Starwish is watching this, I'm actually crying. I don't know why. If anyone from Starwish is actually watching this, if I even upload this, which I probably won't, but fuck it. Banter. Yo, look at my fucking eyes, man. That's just from choking on biscuit stuck in the back of my throat. Also, 10, don't fucking disrespect the flannel shirt. Because, like, man, I rock this hard. Paws shirt, which is like a cat, like the Jaws. It's a pun, man. Big up Cradden. And then, yeah, the Babs has kind of been thrown in there. Support, you don't really have to look at too much. I think Crunk is at the top. And that's pretty much it. So that's explaining it. You guys are just going to go fucking ham at some of the things that I've said, because I'm basing this off a very, very small data pool, but this is giving me now a standing. And then next week we can look at the results and stuff, look at the performances. I'll have a little bit more to judge it on. I doubt I'll be casting again because I've casted 2 games this week, and usually we didn't see likes of Grey Art or Counterfeit cast at all. So I'm presuming they're going to be jumping straight back in, which obviously the better casters, but fuck it. I'm learning. So yeah, that bit's done now. I've done the power rankings, I've explained it. And I said this was a podcast, so you don't really have to watch this, you can just have it on in the background. I just thought I'd put my camera on there just so it's a little bit more interactive. And not a shit, because if you were just staring at that fucking CL Premier Bronze Silver Power Rankings all video, it would be fucking well boring. So yeah. One sec, I'm going to check Discord. I've got a notification. That's just Kwee asking for edits. Banter. No, asking. He suggests saying that he could do. What a guy. There's actually some really nice people in this community. I've got to be honest. Like when I first joined, it just seemed like a meme fest. And to be honest, sometimes it is. Like last night was atrocious. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But there's some really nice guys in there. Like, and girls. Like, it's genuinely just a really nice community. A couple of people here and there that are a bit of a cunt. But, you know. Thing is, some people can look like cunts and then you get to know them. And, like, you get them in voice. And they just sound lads. Like, Rudy is the biggest example of that. Like, when I spoke to him, I just thought, who the fuck do you think you are, kind of thing. And then get him on voice, and he's like, oh, sorry about what happened before, mate. And he's like, Sam, like, what a guy. So, like, one of my favourite people in the fucking community now, so there you go. But yeah, that's something that I'm proper surprised at. Really like the people in the community. And it's so open as well, people can just join. Maybe it's because Bronze and Silvers wasn't that big last year, and now it kind of is. But, like, people can just join and just kind of piss about and be themselves and not get bullied for it. Like yesterday, fucking everyone putting up like pictures of themselves and no one's being mean kind of thing. That was nice to see. Like, because it could be so fucking toxic if it wanted to be. And I'm glad that it's not. Golden Plat I just tend to ignore because it's like 70,000 people typing at once and you really can't just get a word in edgeways or even read it. Because I'm one of those cunts that likes to fucking read every message. I don't know if this is like self-conscious because I don't want to know if they're talking about me or if I just want to like be kept in the loop because like that's kind of who I am. But yeah, so I can't do that on Golden Plat because he just types too much. And half of it's just shit pictures and people fucking calling each other out for being Smurfs. Rest in peace, AMG. Oh, and Chrome. Fuck you, man. I don't know what else to talk about. Let's give a little bit of background about me, and then I'll close it off, and we'll see how people want to view this, and maybe do it next week. Next week will be better, because there'll be someone else here, and I won't just be rambling. I'll try and do like not a script, but like a plot points down. We'll do some fucking interactive shit, maybe get it streamed on Twitch, if I can be asked. This might be on Twitch. That's the risky thing. This could full well be on Twitch, and I don't know. I pressed start recording on OBS. Hopefully it records. Might not. We'll see. And I've also pressed... I've not pressed start streaming, so I presume it's not, but yeah. They got the chin strap, by the way. I'm representing. I think it looks shit. I'm just like, nah. I look 12. 12? I don't know how to pronounce shit, man. If you want to do a podcast, Jesus Christ. So, me, Dave, Drigger, xDriger. Not Driger. Fucking stop calling it Driger, man. How hard is it? If it was Driger, it would be DRIEGER, and it's not, so fucking stop. Now people know that's going to tilt me. Everyone's going to call it me, and the meme has just been reignited. So yeah, the name Drigger comes from Beyblade, show as a kid. I recently like tried to watch it again. The fucking right. Everyone now pause this or close it. Fucking whatever. Open up YouTube and type in like Beyblade songs, right? And it'll be a picture of Kai, the one with like the black chest thing and a fucking like things on his arms and shit. Go just listen to like playlists. There's one or two that are fucking dog shit, but the rest are lit. Right? This might just be because it's my childhood that we're talking about, but like standard. I think they're fucking top. Good AMVs as well. Anyway, and I've gone by the name of Stress Jex before. Shout out. Maybe I'd get in trouble now, but we'll see. But decided to change it. And yeah, X, man. That's the meme in it. X has got to be in everything. When I was on Goliance, which was before Demo, we were looking to change the name because obviously CBA Flaming. We were just changing the roster. Ice was coming in, kicking me out of jungle, moving me to mid, to which we discovered I'm a fantastic Rise player. Rest in peace, old Rise. We barely knew ye. No, we barely knew ye, Master Yi. There's a pun there somewhere, someone can make it. I don't know. I'll leave that to you. And yeah, xDriger was what it was. I tried to make a team called White Tiger X a while ago. Oh, that's what we're talking about. We were renaming Goliath, I wanted to go White Tiger X, and I was like, no. Mainly because Drigger, White Tiger. I thought, fuck it. I was leaving in like 2 weeks anyway. Who cares? Big up partners with shares and low squad, and that's it. I think casting. That's the other thing I'm doing. That's just CompeteLeague in general. There you go. Sponsored by Pure again. I love this because usually it's like reflected in it. So like if I went left, it would go right, but it's just no. It's fucking brilliant. If you wonder why I'm looking there all the time, that's because that's where my face is. I should be looking at the camera if I was doing it professionally, but I don't care. Next time I'll have it on Skype and I'll make it look somewhat decent. Maybe I'll try. I thought this looked good, but now after looking at it for a while, it does just look like shit, doesn't it? It's better than nothing. Yeah, 19 from Manchester in England. I like how I don't speak in a Manc accent until I say Manchester. That's like, yeah, man, fucking sound. Anyway, that's kind of it, to be honest. Like, fucking, I play League. I recently quit my job because it was shit, and now I'm fucking spending all my time playing this dog shit game. Got into Hearthstone recently too, actually. Now I'm just fucking rambling. Nobody's going to watch past this part. This is just boring. I should have prepared something, but fuck it. Yeah, I seen Doctor was playing it. I was like, really? People play Hearthstone now? It's all pay to win. And then I saw other people talking about it in the Golden Plat thing. I was like, you know what? Sure, fuck it. Let's go play it. Disenchanted all my shit because everything was wild now. This is like a year and a half since I last played it. It was when Kazahan got released. I think that's how it's pronounced. The party one. A little bit after that. There's some really fucking good Tavern Brawls back then. Like, playing the chess game, that was fucking lit. Bring that back. Yeah, so got back into that. But although I'm on the ice tavern thing, when you fight the Lich King, and I cannot fucking beat him. I've tried my Paladin deck, which is, I basically just net decked it, if I'm being honest. I've tried a Wind Fury Shaman deck, because it was just something I had. Reno Lock, which is where you use Reno Jackson, and it's a fucking League of Legends podcast, I'm talking about Hearthstone. And Jiraxxus, just to get your health back up. And then you just drop down a Cthulhu with Bronzebeard, or whatever the fuck he's called, which basically doubles your battle cries. So say Cthulhu's got 1800 attack, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but fuck it. And this guy's down, it'll 1800, that's Yu-Gi-Oh coming in now. If you've got 18 attack, you've got this Bronzebeard on the field. Cthulhu's battle cry is that it does damage, like random damage, like arcane missiles, equal to its attack. So instead of doing 18, it'd do 36, and it'd usually just win you the game, which is pretty lit. I tried that, and that seems like it's the closest, because the way the Lich King works is it does like a random effect. So like if you play Mage, you start on 1 health, and then you just lose like when it gets to 8 mana crystals, because he just drops down a fucking weapon and just one-shots you, because you've got 1 health. Against Paladin, all your minions have got Death Rattle. When this minion dies, it gets respawned onto the other side of the field, onto his side. So Paladin, you want to just spam like 1 health creatures and then buff them up. So that was pretty annoying. I couldn't win with that. And then, yeah, Warlock was deal 2 damage for every duplicate or something like that. But on Reno Lock, because Reno Jackson heals you only when you've not got any duplicates, he doesn't do any damage. I thought, right, this is brilliant. Maybe Zoo would work, actually. No, because you want Reno for the thing. I thought you can just go into late game, but then he does that thing where it does increase damage every turn, so 1 damage and 2 damage and 3 damage. And at that point, he's just got fucking 17 water elementals on the field, and you can't do shit all about it, because you can't spend time trying to clear the board, because he's just doing face damage every turn. So, yeah, fuck it. Fuck Hearthstone, because I can't do it. If someone just gives me a deck that can beat the Lich King, and then I can just get through that part and enjoy it again. League of Legends, I'm silver 3, I think. Let me check. Yeah, silver 3. 69 LP, banter. That's because I fucking had to learn top lane for PWC, didn't I? Because Cookie was away, Ash. And then I tried going back to mid. Kept losing. AD carry, kept losing. Nah, fuck, I'm just going back to top lane. I just play Camille and Nar every game and just win. Right, I'm just going to stop it there. I'm bored. Right, I've done my fucking explanations. the premise is here. I don't know how long it is. I'll probably make it shorter next time. Or longer, depending if another person's there. We'll do something fucking crazy like playing MASH or something. I was watching the Joe Santagato podcast, which is like an American guy. It's actually really fucking funny. I put him in the Blank Silver Discord a while ago. Playing MASH, I don't know if any of you's ever played it. It's like MASH stands for mansion, apartment, shack, house. And like, you'll do like people that you're going to marry, what car you're going to have, what's your job, how much money you're going to earn, how many kids you're going to have. And like, basically, you do them all in a list. And then just someone like strikes away. So say if it's like, say if I'm doing it for you guys, say I'll just keep striking, you'll say stop. It's like, right, okay, there's 12. So I just go through, and every 12th one you cross off and you just keep going until you've just got one thing from each section. And then probably that's what you're going to have when you grow up, when you're big daddy like me. Yeah, do something like that. Talk about the standings, get their opinions. At that point, we can probably do like predictions on who's going to end up where. Which right now, I couldn't have a fucking clue. Week 3 will be a good test to see how EGT do. I think PwC are always going to bounce back. Chaz it up, are they even going to make it to the end of the season, considering like how many Smurfs are on that team? Fuck knows. Or I think PwC are adamant that it was a fucking... What's it called? Account sharing. Shit on. Guff dominates Tanzania. What? Change your name, man. It's too long. And then that person dominates Cookie. Maybe he just played shit. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to end it now. I'm going to see how long it is. Upload it. Maybe delete it. Maybe upload it again. Maybe delete it again. Probably upload it again and put it onto the Discord, then instantly regret it and delete it again. And then maybe just upload it again. We'll see. Anyway. Oh shit. Oh, it don't matter now. I had an intro to do, but I couldn't be bothered. One of it involved Drigger, the Beyblade. Fucking yes. Keep that on my desk. And another one was my fucking slogan, which to be honest I put on Tinder a while ago. Didn't work. Didn't work. Maybe that's the face. It didn't work. We'll see. But anyway, I'll catch you guys later. It's been your boy xDriger. Over and out.